What's up, Death Warders? Net Narrator is back for some more narrating the entire Epstein Files. Good God, this is going to take me a while. Anyways, as always, I fully intend for any proceeds gained from this content and all of my other numerous Epstein coverage to go to Speak Out, Act, Reclaim, SAW, which is this website here, founded by Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre, who's now deceased, unfortunately taking her own life. And while the organisation is not currently accepting public donations, and I was unable to set up any kind of official fundraiser via YouTube, I will donate the proceedings when it is possible to do so, or to a similar organisation if that is not possible. And proof of this will be released when I do so. And I'll give it a decent amount of time to see if this charity is able to set itself up properly. If not, I'll find somewhere else to send the money that's appropriate to the cause I'm looking to support. Anyways, last time we carried on from file 10,172. And I've got a few loaded up here now. At the moment, going relatively quickly with this. But there's still a lot more to go. We are currently on dataset 8, but not all datasets are created equal. Because I've gone through 7. They've been a lot shorter than this one. Just to put it into perspective, dataset 8 ends at 30,000 at least. It's slightly above that number. But that would mean that dataset 8 is larger than all of the previous datasets we've done combined. Let that sink in for a moment. But, fortunately, a lot of these files for dataset 8 are a lot shorter. So here we've got emails, and in an email chain, if you're new here for the first time, I will go from the bottom, so you get the oldest information first, and going to the newest. Therefore, you get the narrative, and stuff like saying the names of attachments, or the subjects, for example. If it's irrelevant, I'm just going to breeze over it, because the most important things to determine are the time and the body of the email. So I'm going to be dealing with that. Oh, Mr. Williams 08, now you're tripping with this. Well, yeah, I must be, but I've done a lot of it before, so yeah, we're way past the point of sanity at this point. Edward, greetings from Missouri. Ah, hello there, Missouri. I've not been to America. I'm from the UK, but I love you guys in Missouri anyway, so that's all good. Anyway, I need to stop rambling. I need to get on with it already. So, email chain, we'll start from the bottom here. Sent November 10th, 2021. Is still awaiting supervisor sign-off. I will try to find a relief supervisor to sign off in it tomorrow. It's a holiday, so redacted is out. We'll let you know. Caution, external sender. Stop when unsure. Never click on links or open attachments if sender is unknown, and never provide user ID or password. Suspicious? Please report to this email address, reportphishing@nypd.org. So it's the cops. Oh, hi, redacted. Just checking on this. When will you get this to us? So yeah, I worked in corporate. Any kind of external email has to be heavily vetted by the organization. And would you believe there's always some idiot in the office that will click on something compromising, and yeah, they'll get you from there. Anyway, next one. This one is on November 11th. Here's the 302, Detective Redacted, NYPD FBI, Child Exploitation Human Trafficking Task Force, Office Redacted. And here's the last email on 11th November. Hi, can you please add to Redacted Witness and 350 folder? This can be added to the production we are hoping to get out today. And there we go, that's that. So this is not an email, so I'll read it from the top. Fat witness travel request, domestic witness travel. Also see instructions below to SDNY Victim Witness Unit from ORSA Redacted. Date November 11th, 2021, RE United States Speaker Lane Maxwell. Now, because this is a repeat, albeit from a previous stream, we breeze over a lot of the information that we've already said. So this is essentially a form that's being filled in, and the most important parts are actually redacted. It's like who the witness is, when all the information of the witness. And we just need to answer these questions. Unfortunately, it's all redacted. So, yeah, witness names, DOB, address, telephone number, and email, all are redacted. They won't even say when the witness needs to appear. Witness needed to appear for a trial and trial prep. So they're actually in the trial room, and even that information of when they're meant to appear, that's been redacted. Estimated date witness will arrive and depart. That's also redacted. And we're not even allowed to know these. Is the person a fact witness and not an expert witness? Current federal civilian or military employee? Is the witness facing criminal charges? Does the witness reside outside the continental United States? Is this victim a victim witness? Hotel required? Has the witness advised you of any unusual travel expenses? All of that has been redacted, and none of this information has been filled in. So we will be moving on from that. Now, a lot of these seem to be single-page files, so hopefully we'll be able to breeze through them quite quickly. And indeed, I'm just going to load up a bunch of tabs. Yep, 18, 20. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have these preloaded. The Department of Justice removed the ability to essentially download the entire batch, which is what I did for the previous data sets. So, indeed, I was able to get to a lot of the stuff before they redacted it. But stuff like dataset 8 and all of that, it's a lot of files, so it would have been very intensive on my PC. Anyway, so here's the same one. We've got another repeat here from redacted. Again, it's November 11th, I should say. Witness name is redacted. Witness email is redacted. None of the other information is being filled in as identifiable. Witness needed to appear in SCMY on December 1st, 2021. And they needed to appear for a trial on December 1st, 2021. And here we've got, is the person a fact witness and not an expert witness? Yes. And hotel required? Yes. All the other information is no. But apart from that, all of this is repetitive information. So repetitive information for the interest of moving things along, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do a repeat. But I will mention that this is a repeat, and this is the FBI's prosecution's template form for if a witness if accommodations need to be made for a witness who needs to appear in trial. So a lot of these victims, it's been several years, things have moved on. They've obviously moved out of New York, for example, or Florida, and that's where this form would come up if arrangements need to be made to get them to the city. Anyway, okay. Send Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Subject Amazon return. Hey, redacted and redacted. Thanks again for all the help today. When you have a chance, would one of you mind adding this to the next discovery folder and to a folder for Amazon subpoena returns? Thanks, redacted. Assistant United States Attorney. And this one, November 11th. I've added it to the pending Rule 36 production, and I've saved it to the trial subpoena returns folder here. And here's the link. I'm not gonna read the link because that's stupid. Let me know if you want this pending Rule 16 production prepped to go out today with the 3500 and GX. Right now the pending production just has these Amazon returns. Here's the reply, same date. Thanks, Sonny. Yes, good to go with this production. And here's the reply to that on the same date. These returns have been stamped here. Link. Draft discovery cover letter is attached and saved here for your review. And there's a hyperlink for that. But we might get that in one of the next few files. U.S. Department of Justice, United States Attorney, Southern District of New York, November 11th, 2021. By electronic mail, here are a bunch of lawyers who we've discussed before. And these are members of the defense, I believe. Oh, are they the prosecution? I can't remember. I think Menninger is the prosecutor. I remember it was somebody else that was defense. I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out as we go along. Our United States v. Ghislaine Maxwell, 20 CR 330 AGN. Dear Counsel, today we are producing the materials listed in the below index. These materials are stamped with control numbers that reference through that reference. You can see them on the screen. I don't need to read that out. Please note that both this letter and the enclosed materials are governed by the July 31st, 2020 protective order in this case. This letter is itself designated as confidential because it includes information regarding records designated as confidential under the protective order. The Department of Justice directed this office to cease the dissemination of materials marked with the word confidential in order to avoid potential confusion with markings reserved for classified documents. Accordingly, in order to note the appropriate designation of this production, under the operative protective order in this case, the materials being produced today are marked with the following label. Subject to protective order paragraph 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, and 17. This marking directly refers to the specific paragraphs of the protective order that govern today's production. An index of the materials contained in this production is below. Bates start, Bates end, two separate references here. Summary description, Amazon records. Confidential destination, none provided. Although the government believes that all of these materials are also located in the Florida FBI file and were previously produced to you from that file in the fall of 2020, out of an abundance of caution, the government is producing these records to you in the form in which they were stored in the files maintained by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida. The government recognizes that its discovery obligations are ongoing and will promptly produce any additional discoverable material of which it becomes aware. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any difficulty accessing these materials. Very truly yours, Redacted, United States Attorney by Redacted. Assistant United States Attorneys, plural. Send, Thursday, November 11, 2021. To Jeff Pagluka, okay, that's a defense attorney. Laura Menninger, I thought she was a prosecutor, but no, apparently not. Subject 20 CR 330 USB Maxwell. Cancel. Attached, please find a seal memorandum opinion and order issued by Judge Nathan. It will be docketed tomorrow morning after today's holiday. Sincerely, Chambers of the Honourable Alison J. Nathan. Yeah, Menninger may still be a prosecutor because it looks like a general email sent by the judge's office to all of the lawyers involved. Anyway, and here's the reply on the 11th of... Oh no, it was a forwarded message. Thursday, 11th of November 2021. 412 order from Judge Nathan about a new case the defense mentioned at argument. I think the main point of interest is the court's understanding of our various concessions. Okay, next one. Okay, just a single email. Friday, 12th November 2021. Hi team, since there are so many moving parts with travel and witnesses, we would prefer not see each other. I started putting together a travel chart for Redacted. Attached and save here, with a link. If you think this makes sense to send her, or at least have to talk her through, please feel free to edit or update. Thanks, Redacted, Assistant United States Attorney. So they're bussing in or flying in a lot of witnesses. They don't want them meeting each other. Makes perfect sense. Send, November 12, 2021. Dear Judge Nathan, at the request of Jeffrey Pagluka, please see attached Ms. Maxwell's response to the government's motion in Lamine to preclude expert testimony of Dr. Park Dietz and Dr. Elizabeth Loftus. Oh, I know who that is. Along with supporting documents. Pursuant to our established protocol, we are submitting the motion and exhibits to the court under temporary seal to allow the government to propose any redactions it deems necessary. Regards, Nicole. And that's one of the lawyers. Okay. I have a little bit of an inside information on that. Elizabeth Loftus. I once took a psychology A-level. Wasn't very good at it. But one of the psychologists we went through was Elizabeth Loftus, who's a modern-day psychologist, did a bunch of really good experiments. It was all around the nature of leading witnesses or the ability to manipulate a person's recollection, for example. There was a certain experiment where she had people... A little bit of deception was involved here. And she basically had sounds of... she had them in the waiting room on their own. And then coming out, there was two certain noises that these subjects heard. And followed by the entrance of a person. The first one was loud, swearing, aggressive, horrible. And then they walk out, and the guy's raging, and he carries a weapon, like a knife, and just goes out the building. Next one, super friendly conversation. Guy walks out, absolutely friendly, smiles, cheers, all of that, and then he walks out. And then Loftus comes along, and she asks them, what did the person who came through here look like? And in most cases, with the shouty man with the weapon, people would focus specifically on the weapon. It's called the weapon effect. At least that's sort of how I recorded it. Like, these classes are years and years behind me at this point. But I do remember that's where Elizabeth Loftus came from. And there were a bunch of others, but I don't recall them off the top of my head. So that's who Elizabeth Loftus is. She's a psychologist. And a famous one, I think. Anyway, the subject Ghislaine Maxwell, with a reference, date Monday 7th December 2020. Good afternoon, attached is a courtesy copy of today's ECF filing in response to the MDC's letter. Redacted. Date 9th of August 2019. Just FYI for everybody, today the Second Circuit has unsealed and posted a ton of documents from the Redacted, the Ghislaine Maxwell libel lawsuit, so there likely will be a ton of reporting on that. Any reference to those newly unsealed documents are separate from and do not include any filings we've made and are independent of our case. We have been aware of the litigation and generally aware of the filings, so it also won't hurt to have a bunch of journalists combing through them and reporting out interesting elements. Anyway, just wanted to note that there's likely to be a flood of attention to this development, but that it's not anything new specifically from our investigation. By redacted Assistant U.S. Attorney. From Bobby C. Sternheim. Subject: urgent request, Ghislaine Maxwell. Date: Friday, 20th November 2020. My client, Ghislaine Maxwell, 02879-509, has been placed in quarantine due to contact with a corrections officer who became infected with COVID. I have not received notification that my scheduled legal visits for tomorrow, 11:21, and next Saturday, 11:28, from 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., but I assume they are cancelled. In lieu of the legal visits, I am requesting legal calls for tomorrow and next Saturday from 12:30 to 3 p.m. There are time-sensitive matters to be discussed. Thank you, Bobby. Okay, so yeah, Sternheim is a defense attorney. I think Menninger, I'm pretty sure Menninger is still a prosecutor, but I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong from last time, because I think the leader of the deposition, that was Menninger. Anyway, next one. Okay, it's a fuck ton of attachments, so I already see. Date: 2nd December 2020. Subject: letter REGM request for redactions and in-camera proceeding. Chiefs: attached for review is a draft letter responding to Maxwell's requests for redactions and an in-camera proceeding. For reference, attached are the relevant filings and Judge Nathan's order directing us to respond. This is due today. Thanks, redacted. Okay, that's a lot of redactions. Four pages of redactions. Just completely redacted. What the fuck does that discuss? I do not know. Let's move on. United States District Court, Southern District of New York. United States of America v. Ghislaine Maxwell, defendant. Alison J. Nathan, District Judge. On November 25th, 2020, the defendant filed a letter request under seal. On November 30th, 2020, she filed a second letter request in which she proposed redactions on both letters. The government is hereby ordered to respond to the defendant's November 25th, 2020 letter request and to the request for proposed redactions by no later than December 2nd, 2020. The letter shall be temporarily sealed while the court resolves the redaction request. So ordered. Dated December 1st, 2020, New York, New York, by Alison J. Nathan, United States District Judge. Here's an email on the 2nd of December 2020 with a attachment, with a link. Presumably with a lot of material. Hopefully we'll get to see that on the next slide. Oh boy, this is a big one. Alright. By ECF, the Honourable Alison J. Nathan, United States District Court, Southern District of New York, United States Courthouse, 40 Foley Square, New York, New York, 10007. RE United States v. Ghislaine Maxwell, 20 CR 330 AGN. Dear Judge Nathan, the parties jointly submit this letter in response to the court's November 24, 2020 order directing the parties to meet and confer regarding the defendant's request that the Warden of the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, report directly to the court and counsel on the defendant's conditions of detention. DKT number 76. Over the past week, the government has spoken with MDC legal counsel regarding the defendant's conditions of confinement and has tried to gather additional information regarding the concerns raised by the defendant, which the government has shared with defense counsel. The government has also conferred with defense counsel 3 times regarding the same, as well as the defense's request relating to MDC warden Heriberto Teles. The parties have been unable to reach agreement. Our respective positions follow. The government respectfully submits that the court should allow MDC legal counsel to respond directly in writing to the court and defense counsel regarding the concerns defense counsel has raised relating to the defendant's condition of confinement. The government understands that MDC legal counsel is prepared to submit a letter by this Friday, December 4th, 2020. Such a letter is the appropriate next step at this time, as it will allow the court to hear directly from the MDC legal counsel, who can address the defendant's conditions of confinement. The letter will allow the court to ascertain whether further inquiry, including a personal appearance by the warden or other MDC personnel, is necessary. Moreover, the government does not understand the concerns raised by the defense to implicate the defendant's access to legal materials or her ability to communicate with her counsel. As noted in the government's letter, dated November 23rd, 2020, hello, Clara. The defendant continues to have more time to review her discovery than any other inmate at the MDC. The defendant also has as much, if not more, time as any other MDC inmate. Don't fuck with the mic, cat. To inmates to communicate with her attorneys. DKT number 74. The defense disagrees. As communicated to the government, the defense's position is as follows. Warden Herberto Tellez should appear before the court to directly address concerns regarding Ms. Maxwell's conditions of confinement, which specifically target her. On October 29, 2020, the defense emailed a letter to Warden Tellez detailing the onerous and restrictive conditions, including but not limited to concerns regarding the supplemental camera, excessive searching, e.g. weekly body scan, 15-minute interval flashlight checks at night, and open mouth inspection. Despite being surveilled 24/7 by a dedicated free guard security detail and 2 cameras. And the reason she is not being moved to the day room. Cat! Stop being a pain in the butt. E.g. weekly body scan, 15-minute interval flashlight checks at night, and open mouth inspection, Despite being surveilled 24/7 by a dedicated free guard security detail and 2 cameras, and the reason she is not being moved to the day room, which we acknowledge was the original plan and would reduce searching. Receipt of the letter was acknowledged, but to date there has been no response and little, if any, redress to the most serious conditions. Upon information and belief, decisions concerning Ms. Maxwell's specialised detention are made by Warden Tellez, or from others outside the MDC. A report from the MDC Legal Department would provide second-hand information. Accordingly, Warden Tellez should be directed to provide a first-hand accounting to the court and counsel why Ms. Maxwell is being detained under such individualised considerations. Dexter, what are you doing? Your consideration is gratefully appreciated. Respectfully submitted, Audrey Strauss, Acting United States Attorney. Boop, 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 boop. Move cats, move cats. Thank you. Okay, so ordered. Alison J. Nathan, USD DJ. Sent from my iPhone. Jolly good, there's nothing there. Why can't all the files be like that? Of course I joke. I'm doing this for a reason, but... Oh, goddamn, I wish we could get through the tedious bits. Anyway, subject, RE new driver Maxwell. That's it, you go play outside, cats. Date, 4th December 2020. Not a problem. Best, redacted. Oh, there's another one. On the 3rd of December. Hi all, today our office is sending via FedEx a replacement drive for Ghislaine Maxwell, which should arrive at the MDC tomorrow. This drive will replace the drive that Maxwell recently dropped and broke. And the accompanying cover letters are attached. Would you please make sure Maxwell is given access to the drive? Would you please mail the broken drive back to our office? It can be mailed to the below address by a paralegal specialist from the US Attorney's Office. Okay, here's the reply. Yep, we've already had this email, so the reply is not a problem. And the reply to that is thank you very much. December 4th, 2020. Subject, Relativity Access, Epstein SW Database. Hi, Redacted. Could you please assist us in obtaining a relativity token for Redacted, an FBI analyst working on this case with us? Redacted is copied here. Thanks very much. Redacted. Assistant United States Attorney. Okay. $286, Division Mega 4 Automated Litigation Support System Account Request and Approval Form. Pretty sure we've had these before, so I'm only going to go through the bits that are filled out. So DJ number 2442-0129, case name USV Epstein. Lead division attorney name and phone number redacted, and case manager name and phone number is also redacted. And it's relativity. List of specific cases, projects for which access is required, USV attorney. No information entered here. Approved by redacted. Oh boy. Okay, alright. I guess we're doing this. User responsibilities. Oh, hang on. No, we're going to do this bit first. 1. Introduction. The rules of behavior, ROB, for general users pertain to the use, security, and acceptable level of risk for Department of Justice DOJ systems. The rules highlight that taking personal responsibility for the security of an information system and its data is an essential part of your job. As a user of the DOJ information technology, IT, data, and systems, you are the first line of defense in support of DOJ's IT security. The intent of the ROB is to acknowledge users' receipts and an understanding of applicable IT security requirements from various federal and DOJ policies and procedures. These requirements include, but are not limited to, the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, Circular A130, OMB M0716, OMB M0508, the Privacy Act of 1974, DOJ Order 2640.2 Series, DOJ Order 27401 Series, and the DOJ IT Security Standard. Who is covered by these rules? These rules apply to all personnel, government employees and contractors who perform general non-privileged duties on DOJ information systems, access or use DOJ information or provide IT services to DOJ, hereafter referred to as users. All users are required to review and provide signatures or electronic verification acknowledging compliance with these rules to their respective component IT security representative. Certain authorized personnel may obtain limited exceptions for specific occurrences when performing official duties. These individuals must document situations where equipment and software limitations listed below prevent mission operations. In addition to this, the user shall also agree to and provide signature or electronic verification acknowledging compliance for the privileged user ROB. The system authorizing official, AO, will issue an exemption if the accepted risks and justification is documented and appropriate. What are the penalties for non-compliance? Non-compliance with requirements will be enforced through sanctions commensurate with the level of infraction. Actions may include a verbal or written warning, temporary suspension of system access or permanent revocation, reassignment to other duties, or termination depending on the severity of the violation. In addition, activities that lead to or cause disclosure of classified information may result in criminal prosecution under the U.S. Code Title 18, Section 798, and other applicable statutes. Unauthorized browsing or inspection of federal taxpayer information, Internal Revenue Code Sec. 7213A, is punishable with a fine of up to $1,000 and or up to 1 year imprisonment. Unauthorized disclosure of tax return information, Internal Revenue Code Sec. 7213, is a felony punishable with a fine of up to $5,000 and up to 5 years in prison. In addition to these penalties, any federal employee convicted under Sec. 7213 or Sec. 7213A will be dismissed from employment. Here's a note here. For additional information on mobile device exemptions, please refer to the Department of Justice Mobile Device and Mobile Application Security Policy Instruction V2, with a link. 2. User responsibilities. A. General. 1. Comply with all federal laws and department and component policies and requirements, including DOJ orders and standards. Use DOJ information and information systems for lawful, official use, and authorized purposes only. 2. Do not generate, download, store, copy, or transmit offensive or inappropriate information in any medium, to include email messages, documents, images, videos, and sound files. 3. Limit distribution of email to only those with a need to know. 4. Do not open emails from suspicious sources, e.g. people you don't recognize, know, or normally communicate with. And do not visit untrusted or inappropriate websites, unless authorized. Only download permissible files from known and reliable sources and use virus checking procedures prior to file use. 5. Protect and safeguard all DOJ information, including personally identifiable information, PII, commensurate with the sensitivity and value of the data at risk. Protect and safeguard all DOJ information and information systems from unauthorized access, unauthorized or inadvertent modification, disclosure, damage, destruction, loss, theft, denial of service, improper sanitization, and improper use. 6. Verify that each computer-readable data extract containing sensitive PII data has been erased within 90 days of origination, or that its use is still required. 7. Upon discovery of a known or suspected security incident, report the incident to your help desk, incident response representative, Justice Secretary Operations Center, security manager, or supervisor. 8. Immediately report lost or stolen devices, e.g. laptop, phone, tablet, thumb drive, to your help desk, incident response representative, Justice Security Operations Center, security manager, or supervisor. 9. Encrypt all DOJ-sensitive but unclassified SBU data on authorized mobile computers, laptops, tablets, and all removable media, e.g. removable hard drives, thumb drives, and DVDs, using department-approved solutions unless a waiver of policy exemption exists. For classified environments, follow the procedures required for those networks for data storage and transport. All data is considered sensitive unless designated as non-sensitive by the component director/head/office head. 10. Read and understand the DOJ security warning banner that appears prior to logging onto the system or mobile device. 11. Screen lock or log off your computer when leaving the work area and remove your PIV card if utilized. Log off when departing for the day. 12. Keep all government-furnished equipment, GFE, mobile devices assigned to you in your physical presence whenever possible. When it is necessary for you to be away from your GFE, particularly at a non-secure location, secure all your portable electronic devices and removable media, preferably out of sight, e.g. in a locked container. 13. Do not use peer-to-peer P2P technology on the internet, such as Skype, BitTorrent, etc. P2P is forbidden throughout the department, unless the department's Chief Information Officer, CIO, or designee approves a waiver. 14. Do not auto-forward emails from your DOJ email account to your personal email account, e.g. Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail. 15. Ensure that individuals have the proper clearance, authorization, and need to know before providing access to any DOJ information. 16. Consent to monitoring and search of any IT equipment that is brought into, networked to, or removed from DOJ-owned, controlled, or leased facilities consistent with employee and contractor consent obtained through login barriers and DOJ policies. 17. Properly mark and label classified and sensitive documents, electronic equipment, and media in accordance with the DOJ Security Program Operating Manual, SPOM, and DOJ Order 2620.7. 18. Adhere to separation of duties principle. Understand conflict of interest and responsibilities, roles and functions within a system of application, e.g. duties of the system administrator and information system security officer, ISSO, should not be combined. 19. Do not change any configurations or settings of the operating system and security-related software or circumvent and test the security controls of the system unless authorized. 20. Do not bypass native mobile device operating system controls to gain increased privileges, i.e. jailbreaking or rooting the device. 21. Do not use anonymizer sites from the internet and bypass the department's security mechanisms designed to protect systems from malicious internet sites. B. Classified systems/information. 22. Do not process classified information on an unclassified system unless authorization is obtained to support a specific job function. 23. Send classified email only on systems authorized for that purpose and for the highest level of the classified data involved. 24. When in use, operate IT systems only in those areas or facilities certified for the highest classifications or sensitivity level of the information involved. When not in use, store a classified computer, hard drive, removable media, etc. in an approved security container or in a facility approved for open storage. 25. Use classified laptops and similar devices in accordance with the DOJ removable media requirements for classified systems, dated April 25, 2011. C. Passwords. 26. Adhere to at least the minimum password requirements for the system on which you are working. 27. Change the default password upon receipt from system administrator. 28. Do not share account passwords with anyone. 29. Avoid using the same password for multiple accounts. D. Mobile computing and remote access users. 30. Use mobile GFE, e.g. laptop, tablet, smartphone for official business and authorized uses. Mobile GFE is for use by DOJ personnel only, no spouses or relatives, and shall only connect through an authorized DOJ remote access network when accessing the internet. 31. Only authorized applications and software for mobile GFE can be downloaded and installed on DOJ devices and only from DOJ authorized sources. 32. The use of short message service, SMS, must be approved by the authorizing official. SMS messages are be limited, grammar, to non-sensitive information. 33. Only install DOJ-provided removable media, including memory and subscriber identity module, SIM cards, on mobile GFE. 34. Only connect to secure wireless networks where possible, and take precautionary measures to prevent the compromise of DOJ data when insecure wireless networks must be used. Note: for additional information, please refer to the Department of Justice Secure Use of Wireless Networks FAQ at link. 35. Follow these guidelines unless explicitly authorized by the authorizing official to do otherwise. A. Do not connect non-DOJ mobile devices and/or accessories to DOJ networks. This includes mobile phones, tablets, laptops, Bluetooth devices, and other devices requiring both wired and wireless communication access. B. Do not enable mobile device tethering via Bluetooth, Universal Serial Bus, USB, or Wi-Fi hotspots on mobile GFE. C. Do not access non-government cloud-based services such as Dropbox and iCloud from mobile GFE. D. Do not connect mobile GFE to non-DOJ information systems, to include personal computers. E. Virtual conferencing. 36. Hosts and presenters must provide participants with advance notice if the virtual conference session is being recorded. 37. Do not access a virtual conference presentation using an account with elevated privileges. 38. Limit presentation information to only that which is authorized for dissemination. 39. Delete all DOJ information on a provider's website immediately upon the end of a virtual conference. 40. Do not install any agents or other software designed to enhance or aid in virtual conferencing. 41. Employ strong participant authentication mechanisms, i.e. multi-factor authentication, creating a PIN, unique login credentials, etc. 42. Enable logging and archiving to provide auditability of participant and host activity, as well as enable or disable meeting functions, e.g. upload, download, or desktop sharing. F. Hardware. 43. Do not add, modify, or remove hardware or connect unauthorized accessories or communications connections to DOJ IT resources unless specifically authorized. 44. Do not access the internal components of the computer or remove the computer or its hard drive from DOJ facilities unless specifically authorized. 45. Wipe all devices prior to reissue. There is no expectation of maintaining any personal information, data, or applications on these devices. G. Software. 46. Do not copy or distribute intellectual property, including music, software, documentation, and other copyrighted materials, without permission or license from the copyright owner. Use DOJ licensed and authorized software only. 47. Do not install or update any software unless specifically authorized. 48. Do not attempt to access any electronic audit trails that may exist on the computer unless specifically authorized. H. Remote web access. 49. For your organization's telework guidelines when working remotely and or accessing DOJ information remotely. 50. Ensure the confidentiality of government information when using remote web access, e.g. OWA, from a non-GFE client, private or public or private. This includes the following. A. When downloading attachments to registered non-GFE private computers, immediately remove any extraneous attachments, encrypt them locally, or transfer them to an approved encrypted USB drive. B. Delete attachments when finished on registered non-GFE private computers. C. Sorry, the cat just ran upstairs. That scared the shit out of me. B. Delete attachments when finished on registered non-GFE private computers. C. Do not download attachments on unregistered non-GFE public computers. 51. Do not print emails in public areas and with public non-GFE printers. Users may print with non-GFE private printers at home. Users will be held responsible for the compromise of government information through negligence or a willful act. 52. Maintain a reasonable security posture, i.e. updated antivirus, local firewall, updated OS, and software patch levels on registered non-GFE private computers used for remote access. Okay, that's I, traveling users. 53. The Component Mobile Computing Operations Manager or equivalent shall notify the JSOC or an equivalent authorized SOC in advance if you intend to travel to a foreign country with a DOJ laptop that will accompany you during any portion of travel with the intended dates and locations of travel. For travel to countries designated as high-risk counterintelligence, the use of mobile devices must be approved by the DOJ CISO prior to travel. Requests are processed via email to both the DOJ IT SS Director and the DOJ IT SS Deputy Director. Note: for additional information on foreign travel requirements, please refer to the Foreign Travel Laptop Use and Foreign Travel Laptop Use Waiver Request forms at this link. For additional information on the use of mobile devices during foreign travel, please refer to the Mobile Device and Mobile Application Security Policy Instruction at this link. Okay. 54. Minimize the information on your IT system to what is required to perform a particular mission while traveling and destroy copies of sensitive data when no longer needed. 55. Shut down IT devices when not in use or no longer needed. If the IT device is needed but not the associated network capability, turn off or disable the network or wireless network functionality. Note: for additional information, please refer to the Department of Justice Secure Use of Wireless Networks FAQ at this link. 56. Assume all communications, including cellular services, are being intercepted and read when on travel in a foreign country. 57. Keep your remote access token separate from the laptop or tablet, preferably on you, when possible. J. Personally identifiable information. 58. Safeguard against breaches of information involving PII, which refers to information that can be used alone or combined with other information that can distinguish or trace an individual's identity, such as a name, social security number, biometric records, the date and place of birth, or mother's maiden name, etc. 59. Report all breaches of information involving PII to JSOC through your component's standard procedures. 60. Access, maintain, store, or transmit PII that you are given explicit authorization to and ensure you meet required security controls. No. For additional guidance on PII, please refer to Information Technology Security DOJ Order 2642F at this link. 61. Disclose PII in accordance with appropriate legal authorities and the Privacy Act of 1974. 62. Dispose of and retain records in accordance with applicable record schedules, National Archives and Records Administration guidelines, and department policies. Note: for disposal guidance, please refer to Records Management DOJ Order 2710.11 at this link. 63. Do not perform unauthorized querying, review, inspection, or disclosure of federal taxpayer information. See Internal Revenue Code Sec 7213 and 7213A at this link. And the note here: for additional information on disclosure of federal taxpayer information, please refer to Internal Revenue Code Sec 7213 and 7213A at this link. I acknowledge receipt and understand my responsibilities as identified above. Additionally, this acknowledgement accepts my responsibility to ensure the protection of PII that I may handle. I will comply with the DOJ IT Security ROB for general users, version 7.0, dated January 3rd, 2014. No signature, no date, no printed name, and no component and subcomponent. Note: statement of acknowledgement may be made by signature if the ROB for general users is reviewed in hard copy, or by email or electronic acknowledgement if reviewed online. All users are required to review and provide their signature or electronic verification acknowledging compliance with these rules. Users with privileged accesses and permissions shall also agree to and sign the ROB for privileged users. If you have questions related to this ROB, please contact your help desk, security manager, or supervisor. The department has the right, reserved or otherwise, to update the ROB to ensure it remains compliant with all applicable laws, regulations, and DOJ standards. Updates to the ROB will be communicated through the department's ISES team lead and component training coordinators. Right, that was a mouthful. Some new chat messages, and I thought I was reading it wrong. This is great. I'm glad you think so, Defcore Krieg. Broke Entertainment, I'm glad I've subscribed to people like you, truth seekers. Thank you very much. I'm happy to continue, seeking the truth. It's here. I'm basically reading it. Unfortunately, a lot of it is redacted. Anyway, let me just turn the light on, because it's hitting sunset in my country, and I don't want things to be super gloomy in here. Anyway, right, let's carry on. First email. at 3rd of December 2020. Hi all, today our office is sending via FedEx a replacement drive. Oh no, hang on, we've already done this one. This is a repeat. The thank you very much is not a problem, and thank you very much, that's a repeat. And this is the next information. Attached, please find the letter to Honourable Nathan. Best redacted. That's by a staff attorney. So yeah, repeats we do our best to basically either not do or breeze through, just for ease of continuity and for moving things along. 12th of November 2021. Hi, redacted. Attached, please find a fact witness travel request for another witness in the Maxwell trial, redacted. I expect he'll testify on 12/8, but he could possibly bleed over into 12/9. I need to prep with him on 12/7, and he's not vaccinated, so we'll need to get him a COVID test before he can testify. Given that plan, I'd like to have him fly in the evening of 12/6 and out on the evening of 12/9. It is very important that redacted not run into redacted or any of their family. Redacted is redacted's ex, and they do not know that redacted is coming up to NY to testify. So would you please make sure that redacted stays at a hotel that is far away from anywhere you might put redacted and their kids. Thanks so much, redacted. Okay. Yeah, keeping the witnesses separate for a reason. Again, because some of the witnesses or some of the victims ended up recruiting other victims as part of this web of things spreading out. Yeah, there's going to be some bad blood there. And now this is something we've seen before. So because this is a form we've seen before, I'm just going to go through the important bits. So name, DOB, address, mobile, and email, all redacted. Witness needed to appear in SDNY December 7, 2021 at 9 a.m. And they needed to appear for a trial and trial prep. The prep is on December the 7th, and then 8th to the 9th of December after that. Estimated days witness will arrive December 6th, 2021 in the evening, and departs December 9th, 2021 in the evening. And they are a fact witness, yes, and they need a hotel. Everything else says no. And all of this, none of this other information is filled out. November 12, 2021, redacted VTC prep. Also redacted SA, redacted attorney, redacted. Prepare for trial testimony. Redacted was shown following GX and confirmed recognized. GX 113 VR, 114 VR, 112 JE, 327 redacted, 110 recognizes, believes redacted, 12 redacted full name. Redacted different, clarifying statements below. In or around 1998, redacted believes JE started going to USVI most weekends. And redacted recalls that pilots had beepers earlier on to notify of flights and then had cell phones later on. Okay. Okay. This email was sent 13th of November 2021. Subject to USV v. Maxwell. And this is Maxwell's response to government to Gauze Motton to preclude testimony of Dietz and Loftus. Okay. Dear Judge Nathan, at the request of Jeffrey Pagliuca, please see attached Ms. Maxwell's response to the government's motion in Lamine to preclude expert testimony of Dr. Park Dietz and Dr. Elizabeth Loftus, along with supporting documents. Pursuant to our established protocol, we are submitting the motion and exhibits to the court under temporary seal to allow the government to propose any redactions it deems necessary. Regards, Nicole. Okay. First email, November 12, 2021. Subject, questionnaires. All. The prospective juror questionnaires completed today are available on USAFX. We'll let you know when printed copies are available for pickup. If you could please send us your list of objections by tomorrow at 1 p.m, we can handle putting together the joint letter to the court in the same process as before. Thanks, by an Assistant United States Attorney. The reply, on November 13th, redacted. Please let me know when you're ready to exchange the last batch of juror questionnaire positions. We have prepared ours in Excel this time and hope that'll be easier for you to import. That was by Laura Miniger. Okay, here's the reply. Thanks, that's helpful. Attaches our list. And here's the reply by Laura Miniger. Hi, redacted, check it in. Do you have the compiled list ready for us to review yet? Laura. And here's the reply again. Laura, attached is a draft of the joint letter. Please note that we've joined the defence's position with respect to the prospective jurors with numbers 626, 629, 632, 640, 643, 646, 649, 657, 681, 682, 647, and 655. Dated 14th November 2021. Hi, redacted. Attached is a travel request for a trial witness. He's one of the people we discussed on Friday. He requested, if possible, that he stay on a higher floor of a hotel since he's a redacted and may need to redact it remotely while he's here. Okay. And again, we have a form. All witness details are redacted. need to appear December 5th, 2021 at 5 p.m. And that's for just a trial or GJ prep, which is a bit different. That's the only one X'd, but trial is filled out for the date of December 5th, 2021. Estimated dates witness will arrive December 5th, 2021 and depart 8th, 2021. And they're a fact witness and they need a hotel. And that's it. Okay, 15th November 2021. Dear Judge Nathan, at the request of Jeffrey Pagluka, please see attached Ms. Maxwell's letters in response to 1. The government's justification for admission of co-conspirator statements, and 2. The government's justification for admission of Exhibit 52. Pursuant to our established protocol, we are submitting the letters to the court under temporary seal to allow the government to propose any redactions it deems necessary. Regards, Nicole. Okay, Exhibit 1. United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. United States of America v. Ghislaine Maxwell. Subpoena to produce documents, information, or objects in a criminal case. 2. Redacted. You are commanded to produce at the time, date, and place set forth below the following books, papers, documents, data, or other objects. See Attachment A. Place United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Courtroom 318, 40 Foley Square, New York, New York, 10007. Date and time, 11/29/2021, 8:30 a.m. Certain provisions of Fed R. Crim. Page 17 are attached, including Rule 17, C2, relating to your ability to file a motion to quash or modify the subpoena. Rule 17D and E, which governs service of subpoenas, and Rule 17G, relating to your duty to respond to the subpoena and the potential consequences of not doing so. The name, address, email, and telephone number of the attorney representing Ghislaine Maxwell. And this is redacted information. Who requested the subpoena are Jeffrey S. Pagluka, Haddam Morgan & Foreman, PEC, 150 East 10th Avenue, Denver, Colorado, 80203. Redacted. Notice to those who use this form to request a subpoena. Before requesting and servicing a subpoena pursuant to Fed R. Crim. Page 17C, the party seeking the subpoena is advised to consult the rules of practice of the court in which the criminal proceeding is pending to determine whether any local rules or orders establish requirements in connection with the issuance of such a subpoena. If no local rules or orders govern practice under Rule 17C, counsel should ask the assigned judge whether the court regulates practice under Rule 17C to 1. Require prior judicial approval for the issuance of the subpoena, either a notice or ex parte. 2. Specify where the documents must be returned, e.g. to the court clerk, the chambers of the assigned judge, or counsel's office. And 3. Require that counsel who receives produced documents provide them to opposing counsel, absent a disclosure obligation under Fed R. Crim. Page 16. Please note that Rule 17C, attached, provides that a subpoena for the production of certain information about a victim may not be issued unless first approved by a separate court order. Okay, none of the information on this form is filled out. So because this is a form, we want to... Alright. We have done this bit before. We have covered subpoenas. So attachment A, we've seen the Epstein Victims Compensation Program. Okay. And we've seen this before. So the Epstein Victims Compensation Program, that's sort of a task force set up to get in contact with victims of Epstein and indeed to try and find others, and to essentially offer them compensation or include them in the trial and keep them updated. So we have actually done this before, including eligibility criteria and various waivers and stuff. And this organization or this task force would also work to determine if the Epstein victim is actually an Epstein victim and, not a troublemaker. So we have actually covered this bit before. So let's move on. November 15, 2021, Jack attaches a motion that Maxwell has counsel filed seeking to subpoena information for the Epstein Victim Compensation Fund, including information about Redacted. We intend to file a motion to quash the subpoena later this week. Happy to have a call if you would like to discuss or have any questions. Thanks, Redacted. And here's the reply on the 16th of November. While our preference is to minimize the invasion of Redacted's privacy, there is unlikely to be anything in those files that will be of concern to you. Obviously, the disclosures to the fund were made under assurances of confidentiality. Okay, moving on. Okay, November 16, 2021. Subject, call. Hi, Redacted. I hope you are well. Do you have a few minutes for a call? I'm free this week anytime after 5 p.m. or have a window from 1 to 2 p.m. if that works for you. Thanks so much, Redacted, by an Assistant United States Attorney. And the reply is, "Hi Redacted, can do the 1 to 2 or after 5, whichever is easier or quicker for you. Just give me a call on the below cell phone. I'm also free now if feasible, Redacted." And here's the reply, "Redacted, thanks so much for chatting, documents attached here." And that was on the 17th of November. Thanks, Redacted. United States District Court, Southern District of New York. To the Mar-a-Lago Club, 1100 South Ocean Boulevard, Palm Beach, Florida, 33480. Greetings. We command you that all and singular business and excuses being laid aside, you appear and attend before the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York, 40 Foley Square, in the Borough of Manhattan, City of New York, New York, in the Southern District of New York, at the following date, time, and place. Appearance date, November 29, 2021. Appearance time, 9 a.m. Appearance place, 40 Foley Square, courtroom 906. To testify and give evidence in the following matter. United States v. Ghislaine Maxwell, 20 CR 330 AGM. And not to depart the court without leave thereof, or of the United States Attorney, and that you bring with you and produce at the above time and place the following. Any and all employment records relating to Redacted. Failure to attend and produce any items hereby demanded will constitute a contempt of court and will subject you to civil sanctions and criminal penalties in addition to other penalties of the law. Dated New York, New York, October 5th, 2021. By Audrey Strauss, United States Attorney for the 7th District of New York. Okay, this email is dated 17th November 2021. Subject, juror questionnaires to review for tomorrow. Hey team, since Redacted won't be in court tomorrow, I have reassigned the juror questionnaires for you guys to take on. The new ones start at row 71, juror 199, with the one exception that I also reassigned Redacted, rows 39 and 40, the last two from Redacted's first batch we didn't get to today. Redacted will print yours out, so we have the same hard copy notes method. Redacted, since I didn't get this done before you headed out, if you want to take notes in the spreadsheet attached and send to me by 7:45 a.m. tomorrow, I can print it out in the morning, but obviously do what's best for you note-taking wise. I'm happy to accommodate however I can. Thanks, Redacted Paralegal Specialist. Not sure if you can see in the background, there is a Dexter. Okay, we've got a big email chain here. Let's have a look. So this is on March 25th, 2019. We're bouncing around the dates a little bit, but here we go. Subject, RE documents for relativity. Redacted, could we please load the documents in the following folder into relativity for US Redacted Epstein, USAO number 2018 R01618 with a link. In terms of structure, we'd like to create a folder identified as subpoena returns, at the same level as FBI case file is currently, and in a subfolder within subpoena returns a folder titled BSF returns, and within that a subfolder identified as BSF first production that the docs in the above link can be deposited into, including any additional subfolders. Does that work? Please let me know if any questions or any other information would be helpful, and if you could please let us know when it's all uploaded. Thanks very much. Redacted. And here's the reply on March 26th. Good morning, Redacted. I have noticed that some of these documents contain data that appears to be from a DVD. A DVD contains a bunch of separate files to make everything a play on a DVD. But it will not make sense to load DVD information into Relativity. The following should not be loaded to Relativity, with a bunch of links here. Please let me know if there are any questions. Thank you, Redacted. And here's a reply March 27th. Redacted, that's no problem, we don't need those in Relativity. Separately though, we'll be able to play those video files not on a DVD. That is, we only have them in electronic format, in the file folders. I haven't tried to play them, so maybe it's just as easy as that, but wanted to check if we need to get them processed in some other fashion to be able to view independently of a DVD player. Thanks, Redacted. This is reply 28th of March. Hello, Redacted. The documents will need to be converted to a different format. I will talk to someone about getting the documents converting to a different format. Thank you, Redacted. And the reply to that is, perfect, thanks very much. Same date. Monday, April 22nd. Redacted. Following up on the below and for the same... Oh, hang on. Is that a reply? No, that's not a repeat, sorry. Alright. Redacted. Following up on the below, and for the same case, US Epstein, USAO number 2018 R01618, could we please load the documents in the following order into Relativity, with a link. In terms of structure, they can go onto the BSF returns subfolder, under the folder subpoena returns, under a new subfolder identified as BSF second production. And under that, we like to keep the same folder structure as exists in the link. Does that work? And I don't believe there is DVD information as in the BSF first production documents, but if there is, please let us know. Please also let me know if any questions or any other information would be helpful, and if you could let us know when it's all uploaded. Thanks very much. Redacted. Okay, here's a reply, April 22nd, again, the same day actually. We can keep the folder structure that currently exists. If I have any questions regarding the documents, I will let you know. Thank you. And the reply is thank you very much, or thanks very much, I should say. Okay, this is interesting. Subject: Epstein ducks modelling agency suit over improper service. Law 360. Date: 25th of April 2019. Epstein ducks modelling agency suit over improper service by Carolina Bilardo. Law 360, April 24, 2019. Billionaire sex offender Jeffrey Epstein ducked a modelling agency's lawsuit Wednesday when a Florida appeals court ruled the business had failed to properly serve him with the complaint at his primary residence on a private island in the Caribbean. Florida's 3rd District Court of Appeal said service of the complaint by Miami-based MC2 Model and Talent LLC and its owner, Jean-Luc Brunel, on an office supervisor at Epstein's U.S. Virgin Islands business address did not comply with the requirements under Florida law, and that the suit should be dismissed without prejudice, meaning it could be refiled. The appeals court agreed with Epstein, who had argued that Brunel and MC2 never attempted to serve him at his primary residence, a private island called Little St. James in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Brunel and MC2 attempt to excuse strict compliance by arguing that the legislature could not have contemplated a lifestyle like Epstein's, the 3rd District said, but Brunel and MC2 never tried to serve Epstein at his place of abode. Epstein argued that service process takes place routinely on private property and that his private island is accessible by boat, has a large dock, and is easily located on any map. Nothing would have prevented a process server from tying up to the dock and asking for him, Epstein said. Brunel and MC2 sued Epstein in January 2015 in Miami, claiming the notoriety and bad publicity stemming from sexual assault and prostitution charges against Epstein cost the agency business. Brunel has been linked to Epstein and has been accused by at least one victim of supplying Epstein with underage girls. Epstein pled guilty in 2007 to felony charges involving solicitation of prostitution and procurement of minors for prostitution. He served 13 months in prison and is a registered sex offender. Brunel tried to serve Epstein at his residential address in New York, but Epstein successfully moved to quash service, according to the opinion. Brunel then tried the Virgin Islands business address, which the trial court deemed acceptable in September 2018. But the 3rd District said that in order for substitute service to be acceptable under Florida law, it must be made on an individual doing business as a sole proprietorship. The Virgin Islands business is not a sole proprietorship owned by Epstein, according to the appeals court. In February, a Florida federal judge ruled that prosecutors, including then U.S. Attorney and current Labor Secretary Alexandra Acosta, violated the Crime Victims' Rights Act when they signed a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein without notifying his victims. The Miami Herald, in an investigative report published late last year, printed emails showing that the alleged victims were deliberately excluded from the deal cut between Acosta, who was then the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, and Epstein's defense team. Epstein's alleged victims, numbering in the dozens, claim he lured teenage girls to his Palm Beach, Florida mansion to engage in sexual acts. They have not had the opportunity to testify in court in any proceeding thus far, according to the Herald report. An attorney for Brunel declined to comment Wednesday. Attorneys for Epstein did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Judges Kevin Emmas, Edwin A. Scales III, and Norma S. Lindsay sat for the 3rd District. Epstein is represented by Scott J. Link and Cara Bernard Rockenbach of Lincoln Rockenbach, PA. Brunel and MC2 are represented by Joe Titone. The case is Epstein v. Brunel et al., case number 3D18-1997, in the 3rd District Court of Appeal of Florida. Okay. Okay, we've got a bunch of repetitive emails here. Okay. Here's one. Monday, April 22nd, 2019. We can keep the folder structure that currently exists. If I have a question regarding the documents, I will let you know. Thank you. And it's carrying on from the emails we read previously. Okay, redacted. We've received some additional documents in this same production we'd like to include in the same general subfolder on relativity. BSF second production under BSF returns, please. I'm sending them in a separate folder link so that they don't mess up your process with the initial results. They're here. Add that link. Please note there are a few things from that folder that do not need to be uploaded. The folder titled Original Zips and the 2 PDF documents in the main folder don't need to go into relativity. And I think I neglected to give similar info for the original folder linked below, 2019-04-18, Boyce Schiller Second Subpoena Response. In that folder, we do not need the original zips folder or its contents, and do not need the free PDF documents in the main folder to be uploaded. As always, please let me know if any questions or issues, and thanks very much. Redacted. Okay. That's that page done. Let's do more. Now, I should clarify that this is barely a drop in the ocean, this. But we shall proceed anyway. Okay, here's a reply to that previous email chain. Yeah, this is the same email chain we've been going through. It's just they're repeating it, but adding an extra thing on it, which is this. On April 24th. I will make the adjustments for the first set of documents and then let you know when everything is available in relativity. Thank you. By redacted. Okay. Event. Okay. Start date 2019. The 17th of October, I believe. Yeah, so this is just an automated thing by an event. Like they've organized a meeting. Okay, we've got something different, it looks like. So this was sent October 18th, 2019. Subject, urgent. I have a new alleged victim of E. I have a new client who was a victim of Epstein. She is willing to fly to New York for the victim meeting on October 23rd. May I call you at 5:45 p.m. to discuss? All sent in the subject. Okay. And here's a reply. Gloria, we will make ourselves available to meet with your new client on 10/23. Because the victim meeting is being run by the FBI, their victim services folks are handling travel logistics. I'm CCing Redacted, who should be able to hopefully help coordinate travel. Would you please provide Redacted with your new client's name as it appears in her ID, date of birth, email address, and phone number? Thanks, by Redacted. And the reply is on October 21st. I have 2 questions. First, would it be okay with all of you if we did the call with Redacted tomorrow at 4 p.m.? As a conference call rather than as a Skype call? We'll be in at least 4 different locations, and I think it'll be easier if we did it that way. If so, please send us the number to dial. Daniel from my co-counsel Marianne Wang's office will also be joining us on the call. Also, RE Redacted, my client who is flying in for victim services, will be happy to speak with you. But I have a very tight schedule on Wednesday because I need to be on a 1 or at the latest 2 p.m. train to DC that day. Could we please have the meeting from noon to 1 p.m.? My office is only 1 block away from the FBI meeting. And the reply is, Hi Gloria, we are fine with a conference call this afternoon, and if that is okay with your client, we can use the below dial-in. Redacted, passcode redacted. And your proposed time for redacted interview works on our end. Thanks, redacted. The reply to that is, just a heads up, I think she is needing to reschedule and is cancelling for today. I will let you know ASAP or by 2 p.m. at the latest. Sorry. Also, RE Redacted for tomorrow. Can you speak to her from noon to 1 p.m. at my office at 305 Broadway? I need to leave at 1 p.m. to catch the train to DC. The reply to that is that a reply or is that the same one? Okay. Okay, thanks. Please keep us posted. We are happy to accommodate Redacted's schedule. And yes, we can speak with Redacted at your office from noon to 1 p.m. tomorrow. Redacted will be at the also handling that meeting. And the reply is, Gloria, is Redacted still available for our 4 p.m. call, or do we need to reschedule? Thanks, Redacted. The reply is, I have asked her when we can reschedule, but I do not have an answer yet. The reply to that is, thanks, October 22nd again. And the reply to that is there a place at the FBI for you to interview Redacted at the end of the meeting with victim services? I'm on a tight schedule tomorrow. Please advise if you want to interview her there at 11 a.m. or 11:30 at the end of their meeting, or do you wish to use my office at 305 Broadway? I need to leave the interview with her by 12:30. I must take the 2 p.m. train to DC. And the reply is there, Gloria, we were slightly delayed by questions, but are heading over now. And the reply is, good, thanks, I'm in suite 607 at 305 Broadway. Okay. And this one is sent 31st October 2019. Noted with revisions, additions, fixed formatting issues, and updated hyperlinks by Redacted Public Affairs. And okay. First email, another email chain. March 14, 2019. Subject, travel approval request. Redacted and I would like to please request permission for travel for United States v. Epstein, 2018 R01618, an investigation relating to enticement of minors for sexual activity, for 2 days of meetings and interviews in West Palm Beach and or Fort Lauderdale, Florida. As of now, we're hoping to fly down next Wednesday night and return on Saturday. Please let us know if any other information would be helpful, and thanks as always. Reply to that is, Redacted. For the same cases below, United States v. Epstein, 2018 R01618, an investigation relating to enticement of minors for sexual activity. Redacted and I would like to please request permission to travel for approximately 3 days next week for meetings and interviews in West Palm Beach, Florida. As of now, we tentatively expect to fly down Tuesday night and return on Friday, but we will shorten the time frame if scheduling allows. Please let us know if any other information would be helpful. There's a hiccup there, I didn't intend that, and thanks very much. The reply is still on April 3rd, same as the last one. Approved. Reply, thank you. And here's a reply May 24th now. Redacted. Again, in connection with the Epstein investigation, we'd like to please request permission to travel for approximately 3 days next week for meetings and interviews in West Palm Beach, Florida. As of now, we tentatively expect to fly down Tuesday night and return on Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll keep the timeframes as short as scheduling allows. Unfortunately, we're still trying to pin down timing for interviewing the victims, so depending on the timing, it will either be me and redacted or redacted and redacted. But we wanted to ask for permission now, either way, so we weren't doing it super last minute after the holiday on Tuesday. And also, same as last time, we'd like to ask permission to reserve a conference room at the hotel for the interviews, please. Thanks very much. Redacted. Okay, the reply to that. This time, June 12th, 2019. So these are very long apart. Basically, looks like they're just requesting permission to go travelling. Redacted. Again, in connection with the Epstein investigation, 2018 R01618, we'd like to please request permission to travel next week for a victim interview in Los Angeles. As of now, we tentatively expect to fly down Wednesday and return no later than Friday, and we'll keep the time frame as short as scheduling allows. The trip will be some combination of me, redacted, and or redacted as previously. And also, same as last time, we'd like to ask permission to reserve a conference room at the hotel on Thursday for the interview, please. Thanks very much. Redacted. Redacted. Similar to prior requests in connection with the Epstein investigation, 2018 R01618, we'd like to please request permission to travel next week for an interview in West Palm Beach on November 4th. It will just be me and redacted, and we'll travel some combination of the 3rd to the 5th. And also, same as last time, we'd like to ask permission to reserve a conference room at the hotel on that Monday for the interview, please. Thanks very much. Redacted. October 22nd, 2019. Is the reply. Oh, same day. Approved for both and the conference room. Reply, thanks very much. A reply on October 28th, 2019. Good morning, redacted. Have you finalized the dates and location for your trip to West Palm Beach, Florida, scheduled between November 3rd to 5th? I'd like to start the reservation process for the airfare, hotel, and amount of days you'll need a conference room. Let me know ASAP so your preferred options don't sell out. Thanks, as always. From the US Attorney's Office. Reply, same day. Hi, redacted. Yes, thanks. Could you please make these bookings? Monday, November 4th, 7:30 a.m. JetBlue LGA to PBI, arriving 10:22 a.m. November 4th to November 5th, reservation at Hilton, West Palm Beach. November 4th, conference room reservation at Hilton, West Palm Beach. If you could please have me be listed as the contact person and put it on my travel card, that seems to be easiest for them in terms of logistics when we're there. And Tuesday, November 5th, 7:53 a.m., JetBlue PBI to JFK, arriving 10:27 a.m. I think that's everything, but please let me know if I'm forgetting anything or if any other info would be useful, and thanks as always. Okay. Progress. Okay. Just one email, 24th of October, 2019. Subject, final voucher. So, dear redacted, final voucher. This reference has been approved by redacted, now waiting further approval. So this is just information about the trip they're making. Okay. Trip ID 1064356-2, voucher ID 1, voucher type final, traveler name redacted, purpose R19 NYS 13842, USV Epstein witness interviews. Destination Santa Monica, CA, United States. Dates 2019-09-17, 2019-09-20. Current status pending voucher approval. Voucher total expenses $2,152.79. Estimated trip cost $2,489.21. And the rest of this stuff looks like is links and just automatically generated information, which you don't need to worry about. And here's another one. It's the same kind of template, so we're just going to breeze past this one. And this one here. They're all basically the same. It's the same template. It's just trip ID, voucher ID, traveler name redacted, purpose, and it's basically just an automatically generated voucher. You can see this here from eTravel Services So yeah, it's basically all generated, all booked, and this is just an email confirmation, essentially. And here's a bunch of redacted information, but same template as before, so we're going to breeze past that. Okay, Friday, January 24, 2020. Subject, itinerary only. Hi, redacted. Here's my new itinerary. Thanks. And here is the reply. I'm also attaching my updated questionnaire. Thanks. This is, yeah, same date, January 24th. Questionnaire for official foreign travel. Okay, United States Attorney's Offices and the Executive Office for United States Attorneys, last revised April 28, 2016. A separate questionnaire is required for each EOUSA/USAO employee who is traveling. Part 1, traveler information and scope of travel. All of these personal details are redacted. Question 1. Are you traveling to more than 4 destinations? If yes, attach an additional sheet listing the additional destinations. No. Question 2. Have you completed your travel reservations? If yes, please attach a detailed flight itinerary, your lodging information, and any other transportation reservations. If no, please stop and make your travel reservations before proceeding. Yes. Q3. Have you already obtained OIA's approval? If yes, please attach OIA's approval email. If you are traveling for civil purposes, you do not need OIA's approval to travel. 4 hours. Submit a completed questionnaire to OIA to obtain approval. No. Ooh, new stuff in chat. I shared the stream with my entire family and all friends. Most will likely watch the recording, but still. Well, thank you very much for sharing. I think it's important that this information gets exposed. Interesting information I will intend to clip. If somehow I actually get the whole thing done, I will try and compile all the streams, edit it down into one solid video, and I will release it. Just so I can post on the internet, hey look, I've narrated the entire thing. And hopefully we can get enough traction behind that I can get a little bit of a boost from that as a creator. That's a little bit of a selfish reason, but also for some extra money for charity, because all of it's going to go to charity from the Epstein stuff. Anyway, Q4. Do you have an official passport that is valid for at least 6 months from the date you arrive in the foreign country? Yes. Q5. Have you submitted a request for an official passport to EOUSA, and is the request currently pending? No. Q6. Has the Department of State granted you a waiver of the requirement for an official passport? If yes, please attach the State Department's email granting a waiver. No. Q7. Do any of your destinations require a visa for travel under an official passport? If applicable, submit the required materials to EOUSA to obtain visas prior to departure. No. Q8. For the passport under which you will be traveling, please provide the following data. Yes, all redacted. Q9. Are you traveling to a high threat area? No. Q10. Have you completed HTSOS training in the last 5 years? If yes, please attach the training certificate if you are traveling to a high threat area. Yes. Q18. Have you completed FACT training in the last 5 years? If yes, please attach the training certificate if you are traveling to a high threat area. No. Q12. What is your security clearance level? If you have access to TS-SCI, you must complete a DOJ 504 and provide it to your DOSM and receive a security briefing prior to departure. All redacted. Q13. Do you plan to take any government-furnished equipment, including bring your own device equipment, out of US territory? If yes, submit a request to your IT systems manager. Yes. Q14. Will any travel expenses be paid for or reimbursed by a source external to the EOUSA USAO community? If yes, seek advance approval from GCO or RMP as necessary. No. Q15. Do your travel arrangements include actual lodging expenses, i.e. lodging expenses in excess of OCONUS rates? No. Q16. Do your travel arrangements include premium class travel, e.g. travel accommodations above coach class? No. Q17. Have you already received country clearance from the State Department through the ECC system? If yes, please attach the ECC notification that provides country clearance. No. Q18. EOUSA request ECC county clearance for nearly all ESUSA and USAO travelers. The clearance is required prior to departure. Shall EOUSA request ECC clearance for you? Yes. Q19. If you do not have ECC authorization to travel, and you do not want EOUSA to request ECC clearance for you, what office is requesting ECC clearance on your behalf? Note that federal investigative agencies are not authorized to obtain ECC clearance on behalf of EOUSA or USAU attorneys. Nothing there. Okay. Part 2. General questions applicable to all foreign travel. Q20. Who is paying for travel? USAO, SDNY. Q21. If foreign embassy personnel or consular or diplomatic officials have been consulted regarding travel, please provide their names, titles, organizations, and contact information. Not applicable. Q22. If U.S. embassy or consular personnel have been involved, please provide their names, title, section, and contact information. Not applicable. Q23. If assistance from U.S. embassy or consular personnel is required, e.g. a consular official to administer an oath, or if office space at an embassy or consulate is required, please specify. If the embassy is coordinating lodging, please include your credit card information. Not available. Q24. If the assistance of a stenographer, court reporter, interpreter, or other service provider is required in the foreign country, please provide specific details about when and where services are required. EOUSA will relay the request to the State Department in the ECC system. NA. Q25. Please include any other comments or details that would help the Department of State ensure that difficulties do not arise. NA. Q26. I am travelling to a country other than Canada on a judicial assistance matter. Complete Part 4. So Part 3, no information is included. Because I suspect we're going to get a bunch of repeats of these, and this is the first one, I'm going to say what options they're asking. What is the name of the Q27? What is the name of the conference event or training program? Q28. What is the purpose of the conference event or the training program? Name and purpose, basically. Q29. What is the specific venue name and address for the conference event or training program? Q30. Who are the primary points of contact for the conference event or training program? Please include contact information, e.g. organizations, telephone numbers, and email addresses. Part 4. Additional questions for travel to countries other than Canada on judicial assistance matters. Q31. Please provide the names, titles, offices, districts, telephone numbers, and email addresses of the individuals travelling abroad with you for purposes of conducting investigations, interviews, depositions, inspections, etc. Include all federal, state, or local US officials who intend to travel, as well as service providers who will be travelling with you if applicable. Redacted. Q32. Please provide the case name, USAO number, and court docket number. In RE Jeffrey Epstein, USAO number 2018 R01618. Q33. What is the nature of the case? Explain briefly in lay terms. In what stage is the case? How sensitive is the case in your estimation? Investigation is ongoing and very sensitive. Q34. What is the purpose of travel? In particular, specify what would be accomplished during travel, e.g. interviewing witnesses, taking depositions, etc. Interviewing and debriefing a witness. Q35. Please list the names and nationalities of persons to be interviewed or deposed, including addresses and telephone numbers if available. Redacted. Q36. Is the prosecution of a foreign national foreseen? If so, provide name and nationality. A subject of the investigation is Ghislaine Maxwell, who is believed to be a citizen of the United States, United Kingdom, and France. Q37. Is a host country government official to be deposed or interviewed? Please provide name, title, and whether the person has been contacted and has agreed to participate. No. Q38. Have foreign authorities, e.g. Interpol, foreign police, cleared the visit and are foreign authorities prepared to cooperate? Please explain in detail and reference the names, titles, and telephone numbers of the foreign contacts. Yes. Part 5. Additional questions for travel to Canada on judicial assistance matters. Doesn't look like any information is filled in. I will just detail what the questions are. Q39. Please provide the names, titles, offices, districts, or telephone numbers and email addresses of the individuals travelling abroad with you for purposes of conducting investigations, interviews, depositions, inspections, etc. Include all federal, state, or local US officials who intend to travel, as well as service providers who will be travelling with you if applicable. Q40. Please provide the case name, USAO number, and court docket number. Q41. Briefly explain the background of the case, including the nature of the case, stage of the case, special sensitivities associated with the case, and how much money is involved. Q42. What is the purpose of travel? In particular, specify what will be accomplished during travel, e.g. interviewing witnesses, taking depositions, etc. Include the dates and times of the interviewing, investigating, or other activities. Why is travel to Canada necessary? Q43. Names of persons to be interviewed or deposed, including date of birth, nationality and citizenship, phone numbers, and home or business address for each witness, and any other pertinent information that may assist in locating them. If this information is unavailable, DFAIT will not grant clearance. Q44. Provide confirmation that the interviews or depositions are voluntary, and provide the contact information for the persons who have contacted the witnesses/suspects, e.g. Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Q45. Provide the name and contact information for any legal representatives who may take part in the proceedings, as well as that of their firm or organisation. Q46. If the prosecution of a foreign national is foreseen, please provide name and nationality. Q47. If a Canadian government official is to be deposed or interviewed, please provide name, title, and whether the person has been contacted and has agreed to participate. Q48. If Interpol, Canadian law enforcement, or another Canadian authority has cleared the visit, or if Canadian authorities are otherwise prepared to cooperate, explain in detail, including names, titles, and telephone numbers of the Canadian contacts. The completed questionnaire and attachments, e.g. itinerary, training certificate, should be emailed to OIA to obtain OIA's approval for foreign travel, unless OIA approval has already been obtained, or unless travel is for civil purposes only. emailed to EO USA using the USA EU Foreign Travel mailbox, included as an attachment to the Foreign Travel Authorization in E2 Solutions. If you have any questions about foreign travel, please contact the EO USA RMP Travel Unit by emailing USA EO Foreign Travel or by calling 202-252-5600. Okay, that was a bit of a mouthful, but if we get any more of these, we're going to breeze past them. Okay. Email, January 29, 2020. Subject, Epstein Trust Analysis. Hi everyone, I've attached a summary/analysis of the Epstein Trust documents we received. This document incorporates the analysis of the trust from 2019 I did previously. On the bottom, you'll see each trust has a tab, and then further amendments to the trust, if any, go chronologically to the right. There's also key and summary tabs at the beginning of the document. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you'd like me to walk you through how to use the document, in case it isn't clear. Thanks, redacted. P.S. I wouldn't recommend printing the document, just due to the size of the Excel tables. The reply on January 29th. Please ignore this version. I'll be circulating a revised version with some additional content tomorrow morning. And the reply on January 30th is okay, thanks. Okay, first email. Please see the attached letter. Regards. And it's a massive fucking redaction. And this is sent October 1st. Let's see if we can get some context from that, from the reply. So this reply is October 2nd. Redacted. Received. We've been working with the MDC to get complete answers to all of the issues you raised in your prior letter. We will send you a formal written response when we can do so in a complete manner. In the meantime, your copy of the new Discovery production is ready for pickup at 1 St Andrews. Attached, please find the accompanying cover letter. We have also sent a copy of this new production to the MDC, along with replacement files of the materials your client has had difficulty reviewing at the MDC. The production of 40,000 images is still being prepared by our IT department, and we will let you know when that production is ready to load onto drives. To answer one of the questions you asked on a previous call, the FBI seized approximately 3,500 nude images and 40,000 non-nude images during the New York and Virgin Islands searches. Yeah, and we saw a bunch of the redactions. The FBI is preparing all approximately 43,500 images to be viewable on a secure laptop, then can be reviewed at the MDC. The FBI expects that process will be complete and the laptop ready for transport next week. We are still waiting on permission from the BOP for an FBI agent to bring the laptop into the facility. Once we have that, we will reach out to you to schedule a meeting at the MDC. Redacted. Okay. October 2nd, 2020, by electronic mail. Bunch of redactions, New York, New York, 10022. And this is redaction Denver CO 802203. I know these are separate lawyers because of the mention of Denver. That's been mentioned with a law firm previously. RE, United States v. Ghislaine Maxwell, 20 CR 330 AGM. Dear Counsel, in recognition of the government's ongoing discovery obligations, today we are producing copies of the materials listed in a below index, which materials are stamped with control numbers SEMYGM 000174967 through 00328863. The password for the drive is redacted. The materials are available for pickup at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan. Please note that both this letter and the enclosed materials are governed by the July 31st, 2020 protective order in this case. Note, files in PDF format designated as confidential under the protective order have been stamped confidential. However, certain files cannot be individually labeled as confidential on the documents themselves due to their file format. Such files include in their electronic names the word confidential. This letter is itself designated as confidential because it includes information regarding records designated as confidential under the protective order. An index of the materials contained in the reduction is below. So, Bates start, Bates end, we got a bunch of references. Summary description, Deutsche Bank records, confidential designation is confidential, and then JP Morgan Chase records, also confidential, and then GM documents. Citibank records for Ghislaine Maxwell, USB records for Angara Trust, Montpelier Trust, Terramar Project Inc., Max Foundation, Ghislaine Maxwell IRA, and Elamax LLC. Then LSJ is seen to go. Then American Express records for Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Confidential. The government is also reproducing to the defendant the files specified in defense's September 21st, 2020 letter. In order to avoid further difficulties with respect to viewing the files, the government offers the following instructions. 1. Any DAT, DVT, and VOL files can be opened and viewed by right-clicking on the file and selecting Edit with Notepad or a similar text viewing program. 2. Any video file can be opened with VLC, which has been included. 5. Accessory files, i.e. DII, AMI, CMS, etc. are to be ignored, as they serve no function or purpose besides assisting in the operation of other, i.e. video files. 4. Any previously flagged files that are not noted here have been converted to PDFs and or had their file path shortened to enable viewing. The government recognises that its discovery obligations are ongoing and will promptly produce any additional discoverable material of which it becomes aware. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any difficulty accessing these materials or if you wish to arrange a time to review physical items in the FBI's custody. Very truly yours, Audrey Strauss, Acting United States Attorney. By redacted. Important doesn't quite cover it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, some things are more important than others, for example. Like financial records or flight records, you can't really narrate that, and I breezed through that quite quickly. But the deposition of the, at the time, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, who gave Epstein in his 2007 trial and sentencing a very light sentence. That's a very interesting one to see. It's about 7 hours long though, so I'll need to set some time to actually render that video. Brother Demetrius, this is the last thing I was expecting to see, not gonna lie. I was watching an HFY story and the next recommended thing was this. The whiplash was severe. What can I say? I have a mixed skill set. I'm a jack of all trades. I can do HFY, I can also do legal documents. I hope you enjoy regardless. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Okay, this is a blank email dated 2nd of October 2020. Accepted. It's a call. So basically, it's an automated message to say they've called. And indeed, this is the event on 10th of May, I want to say. American dates confuse me. I'm sorry. Like 10/5, we normally have it like day, month, year. But for some reason, we have it year, day, month. It's very, very strange for me. But that's an automated confirmation. Okay, date, Monday, 5th of October 2020. This just looks like a copy of a message sent. And they basically just pasted the copy and sent it. Okay, what the fuck do we have here? Okay, so this we've had before. Okay, hang on. No, we haven't actually. It's something different. Okay, this was sent 8th of October 2020. Note to public access users. A judicial conference of the United States policy permits attorneys of record and parties in a case, including pro se litigants, to receive one free electronic copy of all documents filed electronically, if receipt is required by law or directed by the filler. PACER access fees apply to all other users. To avoid later charges, download a copy of each document during this first viewing. Court of Appeal, Second Circuit. Notice of docket activity. The following transaction was filed on 10/08/2020. Case name: United States of America v. Maxwell. Case number 20-3061. Documents is a link. Docket text: motion to seal document on behalf of appellant Ghislaine Maxwell filed. Service delay 10/08. Service date, I should say, 10/08/2020 by CMECF. Reference 2948488 20-3061. So this is the appeal that she failed. Notice will be electronically mailed to all these redacted people and some unredacted people who we've seen before. Adam Mueller, Laura Menninger, basically attorneys. Notices will be stored in this notice cart for Gerard Whitby, Deputy Clerk, Quality Control 1. And a bunch of like internal references which we don't need to read. This is just another accepted call, which happened on the 23rd of October 2020. We don't need to go into more detail of that. And this is a blank email. And it's an accepted call. It's just an automated notification, so we can move past that. And here's another one. 23rd of October 2020, they've accepted a call. Okay, let's see if we can finish another page. Let me just open up a bunch of files first, and I will carry on. Yeah, these files are easier to go through, but there is a lot of them. And we've got about 20,000 individual files to go. Each page counts as a file. So this will take me a while. Indeed, I'm wondering if I should just like slow down and not do this as much, but it'll be more of a long-term project. Okay, or we could just like carry on and see things like this. Date 20th of October, blank email. And another one with an attachment MCC press release on 15th of November 2019. And a reply, okay. November 15. No doubt you've seen that the NY Post has an article this evening headlined, Epstein jail cars have been offered plea deal but declined. And the reply is, yes, thanks. We think the union may be the source. And reply on the 16th sounds like it. Yeah, so union protecting the guards. Sent November 15th, 2019. Subject JE case. Good afternoon, redacted. Could you please provide me with the name and contact information for your press official in charge of handling matters related to Epstein? I would like to connect them with our Director of Public Affairs, Aja Welby-Davis, who is responding to press inquiries for us. Thanks for your help. Sincerely, redacted. And the reply is, hi, redacted. Sure, I'm copying Nick Biasi and Jim Margolin from our press office on this email. Thanks. And then here's a thanks on the same date. Well, that's a huge fucking redaction there. Oh, so it's two. It's to a bunch of people. Okay. Oh, is this the shit-talking guy from before? Let's have a look. Alright, this is big. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, this email was sent April 13th, 2019. From Chris... It's the shit-talking guy. Delorio. By Chris Delorio. Find a shell, find a fraud. Environmental Solutions Worldwide Inc. with a link. Florida, Pennsylvania, or Canada. Welcomed on Cromwell/Withheimer OTCM. Deregistered in 2015 and frozen in time, literally, with a link. Dozens of filings by former Milligan, right-hand man Leon Black, Apollo, his family trust et al. Then there's this. Has anyone ever seen pedophile Jeffrey Epstein on the other side of a trade? The only SEC filing of Epstein's Financial Trust Company Inc. is in... Wait for it. Leon Black/Apollo Environmental Solutions Worldwide. With a link. Enter the amicus blocking release of Epstein docs. Krieger, Kim, and Lewin. With a link. Financial fraud appears to be a specialty of this recently formed SCNY alum firm. Now, it gets very interesting. Another link. When another Millikan protege, Apollo founding partner Josh Harris, was considered for a White House job. Coincidences? With another link. SEC dropped probe month after the firm made a Kushner company. Oh baby. $60 billion plus inflows in 2018 for Apollo, with a link. Apollo Global Management LLC reports second quarter 2018 results, Business Wire. Mrs. Krieger Kim Boltz et al. Discovery will be a hoot. Fucking A. I am good. Cheers. Christopher Delorio. Redacted. Who the hell is this guy? And why is he shit talking so much? Regardless, I approve. Definitely splits this up a little bit. And here's another one from him on April 14, 2019. A little Steffi Avaken /hi/O Melviny /Wilma Hale /Apollo /Kushner home cooking with a link. Bunch of links. SEC drops Apollo investigation after Kush Jr. met with Harris at the White House. And Apollo gives Kush some dollars. And Apollo gets $60 billion plus in inflows in 2018. Did I miss something? Cheers! You corrupt fucking scumbags. Christopher Delorio. I like this guy. Okay, here's one on April 25th, 2019. Subject FW Apollo. Okay, we've done that thing before. ESWW, a money laundering NASDAQ OTCM shell, Millikan degenerate Leon Black / Joshua Harris, Apollo, and Jeffrey Epstein. The SEC has known for years that Epstein is running an extortion /Ponzi/slush fund. My claims again, with a bunch of links. Not credible? How about the SEC's own words? With a link. See my comment letters on this subject. The SEC intentionally puts the investing public at risk of frauds like this and thousands of others like it. The core beers at night/vert, CDL, etc., and the reason why the OTCM exists. Abusive, naked, shorting publicly traded shells to facilitate money laundering. Shells go dark only after a massive fraud has been perpetrated on the investing public. Main Street. Another genius degenerate. Apollo. The grossly corrupt SEC. Brought and paid for by common criminals and degenerates. IG, I have time for that required third-party CC today. Call me. Cheers. Christopher Delorio. Okay, and here's... Oh, it's not the last one. We've got another one on May 2nd, 2019. IG. This is a blatant attempt to intimidate a whistleblower. He, I think a male, although very effeminate voice, was an anonymous coward scumbag who threatened me. I think I have done this before, but this is kind of funny. And then called me another 11 to 12 times after that. This is a very serious matter. Felony. I intend to see him prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, within weeks of filing a complaint against the SEC and you. I obviously have hit a nerve. Cheers, with a link. Cheers, Christopher DeLorio. No L's, scumbag. DeLorio. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Now this was May 6th, 2019. Greetings, grossly corrupt SEC et al. Scumbags. As with all of my allegations, beyond a shadow of a doubt, 100% accurate, with a link. ESWW was a money laundering shell. The SEC knows it. The degenerate Epstein knows it. The degenerate Leon Black / Kushner BFF / Milliken. Prodigies / Mark Rowan / Apollo knows it. The DOJ / IRS knows it. IG, I have repeatedly offered to come back to SEC DCHQ to have the brightest minds of the SEC totally humiliate me by refuting my allegations one by one. The grossly corrupt SEC scumbags have never taken me up on my generous offer, for the very simple reason that all of my allegations are accurate and true. So I again put the offer out there, refute my claims or go to jail for the criminal obstruction actively being facilitated by your office and the SEC. So let's give these scumbags the insurance / annuities market. This will not end well for tens of thousands of Americans who greenlighted this takeover of the insurance industry by PE / hedge funds, with a link. Cheers, Christopher DeLorio, Whistleblower. And we got a bunch of blank emails here. And we got another one here. Is it the last one? Oh no, it's the next one, and then we got a blank. Okay. So here's one. Today, 5/15/19, the grossly corrupt scumbags at the SEC approved another massive fraud in the investing public, with a link. The genius effing quaint AQR / Greek shipping / economou / Dryas / Orig / Astra, / Nautilus / Nevios / Gerber / APAC / Nordlic / Glass / 1MDB / Nitworski / Kinium / Trimetris / Liquid, etc., 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 money laundering shell. Well done. By the way, how is the George Economou / Georgius Economou SEC investigation coming along anyway, with a link? What a coincidence. Here's another link. Dude is definitely not getting the attention he deserves. Then again, who actually believes Mark Bistresser of Toronto, Canada was investing in the money laundering Economou shell known as Dry Ships, with a link? Charity not the motive, with another link. The Toronto connection runs much deeper, though. The overlap with AQR Blank Check Shells and Polar Asset Management Toronto. The Toronto-based Bistrider and Economou. Bistrider's in New Jersey, too, and David Bistreiser happens to be a real estate developer, with a link. One Bistreiser / Clipper investor, Toronto-based LI Investments, with a link. Check out this Reg D offering Bistrider / Clipper did in January 2016, with a link. $130,000 Reg D offering for this Bistrider / Clipper publicly traded real estate company was done with an Atlanta-based firm called H&L Equities. Atlanta is home to the obscure Trump-Russia counsel Andrew Economou. Nothing to see here. Of course, then there's the Hail Mary pass Kushner threw on his Toronto-based Brookfield deal for 666 Fifth Avenue, with a link, which was brokered by the Apollo / Epstein degenerate Black / Harris / Rowan, with a link. Apollo and other Kushner financing pal Blackstone just happened to be both granted free reign on the US insurance / annuity industry. Crazy shit, huh? Yeah, I agree. This guy types like a shit poster and I love it. I couldn't agree more. Oh, God. Greek shipping bagman Georgios Economou meets Jared Kushner. But it gets better still. Steven Weinberg, Cerberus. With a link. Bawag / Refco. Virtue first bid for Night Post glitch, and now money laundering bank HAS. Steven Weinberg, scum of the earth, meet Giorgio Economou. With a link. Janie, IG, update my various pending TCRs and complaints. Yours very truly. And infinitely smarter than anyone on this email list. Christopher J. D'Iorio. Whistleblower redacted. Oh, God, I need to get an interview with this guy. This is fucking funny. Please, can I do some? Please, can I do some more of this guy? This is great. Okay. The one after that is just a blank reply, and this is the last. This is the last one before a massive ass redaction. Oh no, this is the last one. It's two. I'm assuming everybody here. This massive redaction is the two first. So it's a fuck ton of email addresses. Who's he sending this to? Date 19th of May 2019. I reiterate, the SEC is a grossly corrupt criminal organisation bought and paid for by criminals who threaten the integrity of our markets to the clear and very egregious detriment of the investing public it is sworn to protect. http www.markettrap.com. Oh, yeah, that's the link. Cheers, Christopher D. Iloria. In fact, let me Google this fucking guy. That's the end of that file. Okay. Who the fuck is this guy? Okay, is it this guy? No, he's, Is it this guy? I don't know. I don't know who it is. Well, we've got a bunch of Reddit threads on it. Is this guy shitposting? I don't know. I have no idea. So, self-described whistleblower who lost big, like over 100 million on penny stocks. Okay. I mean, he's got a hell of a resume, but I don't have a picture. Alright, let's move back. Let's get rid of that. That's funny, though. Okay, here's a message, 23rd of September 2020, with an embedded message. Let's have a look at the chat first. HMI smut and legal documents. Get yourself in a race with that much variety. HMI smut, yeah, won't appear on the channel, but yeah, there is a lot of... I've had to narrate a lot of porn in the name of HFY. You can get that on the Patreon or if you're a YouTube member, and on the Discord. Because, I mean, as much as I would love to narrate porn on YouTube, they will ban me pretty quickly. And I don't want to get banned. Sorry to say. And, oh hey, a mention of Trump in the Epstein Files? No way! He does appear, but it's not as big as left-leaning people are trying to make out. Like, I'm not a US citizen. I'm basically trying to cut it down the middle. Clinton appears a lot more. Bill Clinton does. And he primarily appears in photos. Trump is mentioned in possible, like, witness accounts, but something that was heavily redacted from them and basically spread around Twitter and stuff, that the witness was not deemed credible or had a heavy criminal record, and indeed that stuff was recorded during Trump's presidency. So I can imagine a bunch of liberals making false reports. Doesn't mean it's not necessarily true, but you know, it doesn't mean he's not in it. I mean, certainly he does appear in a few photos. And he does appear in a photo that the DOJ then redacted, which is actually a picture of Trump and Epstein among, like, a mantelpiece of photos. It was sort of like a shrine to a bunch of famous people that Epstein had met and was in the photo with, including one of the popes. Which, yeah, that's a bit disturbing. But anyway, we can get past this. Okay. 21st September 2020. Oh, God, we need to go back to the top of the chain. Oh, God, this is a big one. Okay. Okay. August 9th, 2020. Subject, reference materials further to our call. Dear Redacted, apologies for the slight delay. Please find attached an extract from the Decision Procedure and Penalties Manual, DEP 7 from the Financial Conduct Authority Handbook, drawing attention to 7.2.14. This practice and approach resonates with the law as set out in United States v. Allen, 864 F3D, 2nd Circuit 2017. We also attach an extract from the publication Montgomery and Omerod on Fraud, Criminal Law and Procedure, 2008. Which summarizes the approach taken by the Serious Fraud Office. Oh, sorry, I've had to narrate a lot of porn in the name of HFY. Someone clip that. Yeah, like, clipping is free on streams. You should be able to do it. That's no problem at all. Make it a short. Do what you need to do. I'm happy for people to make remixes of my videos. Which summarizes the approach taken by the Serious Fraud Office, CA7-327, to the limitations and protections on use when their compulsory powers are used in MLAT requests. An approach which reflects such cases as Castagava, United States, 406 US 441, 1972, as well as decisions in UK domestic law. We reiterate the protection at Article 7.2 of the MNAT Treaty, although there is no need to attach it. Kind regards, Daniel Cundy, partner, presumably he's a lawyer. And the reply on the 19th of August, Gary, are we still planning to speak via phone tomorrow at 2:30 London time? Regards, redacted. Here's another redaction, and then from Gary, the reply is, yes, same dial-in details as before, regards. Okay, here's another reply. Oh God, what's the date? September the 1st, 2020. Dear Redacted, oh god, this is a mouthful. We have found our recent conferences with you and your team on 27 July, 3rd, 11th, and 24th of August 2020 helpful and informative, and again I extend my thanks for your taking the time to discuss these matters at length. In the UK, the provision of a signed witness statement, bearing a statement attesting as to its truth, is a commonly used approach when a witness provides evidence. Whilst we appreciate that such an approach differs from what is standard in the US, we do not consider such an approach would be unhelpful or of no utility to your case. Our client is willing to provide you with a witness statement addressing any issues that he may be able to in relation to Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, his association with them and his knowledge of them, such as may be relevant to the prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell. In addition, should you make written requests for clarification arising from that witness statement, our client could provide written answers by way of a supplementary/addendum statement. Such an interaction could take place more than once if necessary. Providing written answers to either written questions or to questions previously put is again a common practice in the UK. You have invited us to identify any areas or subject topics which we would consider to be inappropriate or irrelevant to be put to our client. We consider that questions put/topics raised should rightfully be limited to the indictment period in the current proceedings, i.e. US v. Ghislaine Maxwell being 1994 to 1997. We are of course aware that you have requested a witness interview in your request to the UKCA and to ourselves. You have confirmed to us, however, in January this year, through your litigation office, immediately prior to our recent conferences, and then during our conferences, you regard our client not as a witness but as a subject. We have ventilated at some length our concerns regarding our client being interviewed in those circumstances, and we consider a witness statement and the offer of further engagement with written questioning to be a fair compromise and one which will be acceptable in the UK. To move forward with the above approach, we will continue to require your assurance that the content of any such witness statement and supplementary written responses be treated with the utmost confidentiality, not used for any purpose other than in relation to the criminal proceedings against Ms. Maxwell, and not be shared with any parties outside of your department, including complainants and their respective representatives in your investigation and in civil matters outside of it. Kind regards, Gary. Well, this is different from my usual background noises while writing a chapter. It certainly is. Welcome. Hopefully this doesn't bleed into your story too much. Okay, this is a lone email sent 29th September 2020 with a bunch of attachments. Hi, hope you're doing well. Here's what we felt in the Epstein case. Redacted. Next one. Okay, blank email. They've accepted a call. It's an automated notification. 5th of October 2020. And here's the event. Here confirming that. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, so here we basically got like an automated return from booking like travel stuff. So final voucher, and this was on the 31st of December 2019, so New Year's Eve. And this is purpose, US v. Epstein, witness interview, California. So yeah, FBI agents going to California to question some witnesses. Anyway, move on from there. Okay, we've got some more stuff. By electronic mail and US mail, Roberta A. Kaplan, Kaplan, Heckler and Fink, LLP, 350 Fifth Avenue, Suite 7110, New York, New York, 10118. RE request for information relating to Jeffrey Epstein. Sent January 6th, 2020. Dear Ms. Kaplan, I am the Assistant U.S. Attorney, Orsa, who will be handling the request you discuss with Orsa redacted for certain information related to Jeffrey Epstein. Because your request seeks information from the Department of Justice, the Department, employees acquired during and as part of their performance of their official duties, your request is governed by certain Department regulations, commonly referred to as TUI regulations, which, inter alia, prohibit any Department employee from disclosing such information without prior approval of the proper Department official in accordance with number 16.24 and 16.25 of this part. 28 CFR number 16.22a. See also United States Ex Rel 2EV Reagan 340 US 462 1951. C8 CFR number 16.21 et sec. The proper official in this case is Jeffrey S. Berman, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. The two regulations provide a set of procedures for the United States Attorney to follow when considering such requests. See 28 CFR 16.22b and 16.24. A party seeking to obtain records or employee testimony from the department must first submit a written demand. See 28 CFR number 16.22. To assist the United States Attorney in evaluating your request, we ask that this demand provide a detailed statement of the information sought, the litigation for which you seek this information, the pertinence of the information sought to your litigation, and the availability or absence of means in that litigation, including discovery, to obtain the information in question. See ID number 16.22d. The U.S. Attorney will reach a determination regarding your request in light of the considerations codified at 28 CFR number 16.24, 16.25, and 16.26. Such considerations include, inter alia, whether such disclosure is appropriate under the rules of procedure governing the case or matter in which the demand arose. 28 CFR number 16.26a1, and whether disclosure is appropriate under the relevant substantive law concerning privilege, including law enforcement privilege. 28 CFR number 16.26a2. Disclosure will not be made when, inter alia, disclosure would violate a statute or a rule of procedure, such as the grand jury secrecy rule. 28 U.S.C. Number 16.26b1. Disclosure would reveal a confidential source of informant. 28 U.S.C. number 16.26b4, or disclosure would reveal investigative records compiled for law enforcement purposes and would interfere with enforcement proceedings or disclose investigative techniques. 28 U.S.C. number 16.26b5. Applying these considerations, the department will make appropriate disclosures when warranted. See 28 CFR number 16.26c. My understanding is that you may intend to make a formal written request pursuant to the above described regulations. If you choose to submit a written request, please send it directly to me. We will act upon an application made pursuant to the department's regulations. Please contact me once you have had a chance to review this letter if you would like to discuss the issues herein further. Sincerely, Jeffrey S. Berman, Assistant United States for the Southern District of New York, by Redacted, Assistant United States Attorney. Whew! Alright. So, small email chain here. January 2nd, 2020. Subject page 6, Ghislaine Maxwell's powerful contacts protecting her in safe houses, with a link. I'm sure you've seen this already. Totally just FWIW. NBC has heard that she's staying in Colorado with wealthy ex-associates of Epstein. And the reply. I truly cannot believe this stuff gets printed. So absurd. Even the feds hate the media. Agree. Sorry for even wasting your time with it. Oh no, not at all. I always appreciate it when you send this stuff along. Good to keep an eye on it, and certainly entertaining, even when crazy. Okay. Personally, I wouldn't mind reading a story. Reading the chat. Personally, I wouldn't mind reading a story with several files mentioned throughout. Yeah, I think I've already done a couple actually. And remember, folks, there are a lot of photos of Epstein hanging out all buddy-buddy with all your favourite celebrities. Especially Trump. It's true. I am calling it down the middle. I'm being apolitical with this. I'm not going to pick either side politically. But, you know, I'm only advocating for the victims. I hope whoever's behind the horrible stuff, drag them out into the light. Sentence all of them. Sentence all of them hard. Don't care who they are politically or who they are, even if, you know, it's my favourite celebrity. Hell, if it's Henry Cavill or Keanu Reeves and they're involved, not that they are because they're fucking awesome, but if they were, I'd say lock them up. I'd say, you know, prosecute them with the full force of the law. So that's my stance. I don't care who it is. Just bring them to justice and get the victims the compensation and peace they deserve. And that's what I hope to do with doing my little bit doing these narrations. We're on stream 29 at the moment, and it's and I started last December, I think. Yeah, it was last December. Oh yeah, I remember having a Christmas hat and all. Anyway, moving on. Okay, another email chain. All right, first email, September 23rd, 2019. Hi Brittany, we met with Redacted last week in California, which was helpful. She mentioned that she has provided you with a batch of emails relating to her encounters with Epstein. She indicated that she will be willing to share those with us, and that we should contact you to coordinate. Are you able to share those documents with us? If you have any questions, or if you think a call would be helpful to discuss, please let us know. Thanks, Redacted, Assistant United States Attorney. And the reply, same date, we will send you all of the emails we have. And the reply on September 30th, Hi Brad, just following up on this. We're happy to take these by whatever method is easiest for you. One option would be to mail us a CD or thumb drive, but please let us know what works for you. On the subject of documents relating to redacted, do you have any photographs of her from the relevant time period? Or are you able to ask her if she has them? Thanks, redacted. And here's a bunch of redacted photos. Obviously it's victims and minors, so that's fine. That's, people like to criticize the heavy redactions in this. I think I will point out the places why I fully agree with those redactions, and that is definitely one of them. As I say, the victims have to be protected at all costs. The perpetrators, not so much. Reply same date, redacted. I've attached the 2 photographs that we have of redacted from the relevant time period. Brad and I are both currently out of the office, but we'll get documents to you when we get back. Thanks. Reply on, this is a while later, January 15th, 2020. Several months later. Can you send the photos again? Only the photo booth ones came through. I want to attach them to the 302. Thanks. And 16th of January. Just resent and sorry for the delay. Please let me know if the email doesn't come through. Thanks. Alright. One email. Subject subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell on 10th of June 2020. Redacted. Please see response regarding subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. By redacted. Legal process specialist. Judicial compliance. Okay. And with a casual footer with a company footer that we don't need to read, by UMB Bank. And this is okay from UMB Bank. June 10th, 2020, Southern District, New York, 1st St. Andrews Plaza, New York, New York, 10007. R.E. Ghislaine Maxwell. Dear Redacted, on June 10th, 2020, we received the attached requests as referenced above. I was unable to find anything that you are requesting for the customers listed above and or on the dates listed on the subpoenas. Please feel free to contact me if you have any further questions on this matter. I can be reached, redacted. Sincerely, redacted legal process specialist. Okay, so original message is from this one. It's very hard to... The format's... The context and the format, it differs from here to here. It's annoying to work out which is first. Anyway, April 26th, 2019. Redacted is going to meet with Brad Weinsheimer. Not beating the stereotypes there. On Monday. Can you guys put together an update memo this afternoon on where we are, what we've done since the last update memo, and next steps? This is just for redacted for now, not for sending down to DC. And the reply on the same date. I'm traveling today, back on Sunday, so could do it then, or otherwise have to defer to redacted. Sorry. And same date. Are you at the airport? I wouldn't mind chatting for just a minute to make sure we're on the same page on bullet points before I draft. Okay, this is file U.S. Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Passport P, generated by redacted. Last name Epstein, first name Jeffrey Edward, DOB 01-20-1953, gender male. Passport number redacted, passport status issued, document type P, passport, issue country United States, issue date 9/12/2012, expiration date 5/26/2020. Last name personal information, last name Epstein, first name Jeffrey Edward, DOB 1/20-1953, gender male, place of birth United States. Oh dear. And that's a repeat. There we go. Easy. It's the same fucking thing. Oh no, hang on. These are okay. Issue date 03/08/2019, expiration date 03/7/2029. And they've covered his date of birth in this, but they've literally done it on the previous ones. These are all Epstein's passports. Okay. Date, Thursday, 25th of April 2019. Attached is a summary of Epstein travel from 1/1/2015 to 4/21/19 by a redacted special agent from FBI New York. Oh, God, my ass hurts. Okay. Oh, this is an easy one to do. So, the rules we have with forms and stuff, we go through the... we do go through the headings just to say what it is, but it's a bunch of repeats and the important information is always redacted, like the inspection point. So, last name, first name is Jeffrey Epstein, obviously. DOB, same one, 01/20/1953. It's all the flight logs with Jeffrey Epstein, all the travel logs, I should say. Doc type P, doc number 5666726115. It was redacted at the previous page, so that's the passport number. Date, time, again, it starts with 04/19/2019, and it ranges, it actually goes descending. Carrier code GA, carrier number N212JE, IO site, inspection type, APIS, not sure, status, passenger. Well, he's not flying the damn thing, he doesn't have a pilot's license. With a reference, so customs, INS, that kind of stuff. arrival location, and department location. So presumably these are like shorthand terms for certain airports. And the date and time, it goes from 04/19 to 2019, and the range goes down to 07/01 2017. But it's the same stuff. It's a bunch of useless information. And they've even got a legend here. However, we have covered these in previous streams, so this is a repeat. I'm going to move past that. And same for here as well. Okay. Oh god, this is a big chain. This is a repeat of a repeated email chain. So they're talking about subpoena returns with FBI case file, and then BSF first possession. They're basically asking if the files can be created, and then they say, "Oh no, you can't do the DVD stuff," and then they have a back and forth. So I'm going to move up to where I know we left off the last time we covered this particular email chain, and then we'll carry on from there. So I remember a bunch of links 1 to 6. They're all DVD stuffs. As I say, it all says there and says there. And they want a second production. And they talk about the original zips. And yeah, this is the newest one. All of the data has been loaded to Relativity and is available for review. Please let me know if there are any questions. Oh, no, I think we did that bit before, but that also says thank you. And they're replying the same date is great. Thanks very much. But yeah, that email chain we've done before this stream. Okay, here's another automated response saying that travel authorization 108104141 has been approved. Now waiting further approval, and they're talking about the purpose, why they're going. They're going to Santa Monica, California. Again, this is an automated thing for travel arrangements that we've seen before, so we're going to move past that. Okay, date 5th December 2019. Yeah, it's another travel authorization, so we can move past that. Again, Santa Monica, California, because there's because this happened a while ago, there are victims all over the country, and indeed I think Virginia Giuffre ended up in Australia. So the agents have to travel a little bit just to speak to victims, and certainly they did that the first round with the Florida police. And here's another travel authorization. Okay, good, we've got something new. Alright. Okay, this is dated July 2nd, 2020. Subject Ghislaine Maxwell custody. To all. Below are the restrictions we have put in place regarding Miss Maxwell during her stay at Merrimack DOC. I think iBlog maybe. If you have any questions, please feel free to call or email me. Due to the high-profile status of this case, inmate Maxwell will be closely monitored. The following directives apply and shall not be deviated from without express permission from redacted. Myself or redacted. 1. Inmate Maxwell will be housed at M1. 2. SRT personnel will be posted in medical and will only be relieved by SRT personnel. 3. Staff will not converse with the inmate outside of the standard communication required related to the inmate's health and safety. 4. Inmate Maxwell will remain on a 15-minute observation watch. 5. All rounds and touch probe rounds will be conducted and documented in X-Jail. 6. Third shift supervisors will download the touch probe rounds and camera footage from the previous day at 0000 hours each day. The video from the medical cell DVR will be downloaded onto a USB drive and will be tracked via the designated tracking form provided. Supervisors are directed to deliver this documentation and video to redacted Monday, July 6th. 7. Inmate Maxwell will be authorized to communicate with her legal counsel, Lawrence Volgerman. This contact is only authorized after Attorney Volgerman provides the appropriate PIN. 8. Any and all requests from inmate Maxwell are to be directed to redacted only. At no time are staff authorized to make statements to the press regarding this matter or our SOP regarding this inmate. By redacted, Supervisory Deputy United States Marshal. So checking the date, July 2nd, 2020. It doesn't look like this was in response to Epstein killing himself, because he killed himself in August, I believe. It's just, but they know that this is as a high-risk inmate, a very valuable inmate who they want to squeeze for information. So they've got a lot of precautions on her, and indeed it's proving beneficial even to today, even though she is still refusing to cooperate. She's refusing to name names to cooperate, even though she's failed her appeal. The only way she gets out is by cooperating in a way. So I don't know. I don't like that. She's just refusing to cooperate. It's fucking irritating. Anyway, there's the reply to that is FYI, and then there's a thanks very much on the 2nd July 2020. Sorry, I got on a tangent about Maxwell, because weirdly enough, I have grown to hate Maxwell more than I have hate Epstein, purely because we haven't seen anything regarding interviews with Epstein and all that. Like, we haven't seen any talks or depositions with him specifically, but we've seen plenty with her, and in those depositions, she acts like a brat. But Epstein, we haven't seen any depositions, at least so far, with Epstein specifically. And you would have thought he'd be questioned, but no, I think he killed himself very quickly after being in prison for the second time. But the first time he got a light sentence, which is still a miscarriage of justice, I think. Anyway, last file, okay. Ooh, this is a so this is a repeat of the last one where it just says FYI, and then the next one says thanks. So this is essentially a repeat. Now, I was actually pretty tempted to end it there. We're on the next page. Are you 18 years of older? Fuck yes, I am. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so yeah, I've been going for over 2 hours. My voice is cracking a little bit. And I do want to get to bed early, so I will actually be ending the stream here. It's just been a solid over 2 hours. We are now covering file 10,362. So I've got several tens of thousands of files to go before I complete dataset 8. And this goes into the million range, so, you know, maybe there might be a point where I do give up. Or just say, fuck this, you know, but I'm not at that point yet, purely because it's so long. It is April already, and it's going to take a while, unless of course other narrators are willing to jump in and assist me with this, which would be great, and it would get this done a lot quicker, and we can all release it as one massive video at the end of it. You know, I can credit the other narrators, do it as a collab, and we'll have a fun time. We're doing that, but for now, at least, I'm happy with my 2 hours I'm putting in. I want to rest. I want to play with my kittens. I want to wind down before I go to bed. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you had a fun time listening to this. It was certainly pretty good. This has been one of my better streams. I haven't crashed and burned. That said, there is a lot to do. There's a really huge amount to do. And I do know that later on we get, like, certain video files from the prison, which obviously aren't narratable, and that covers a decent amount of the file. So when we get to that, I'll just have a look at that and only do the bits that I can narrate. But I do know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel somewhere. It's just, I suspect that's going to be quite a bit away. Anyway, that's enough rambling. I'm going to get myself a cup of tea, relax, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. That might be tomorrow. I might see